Sometimes it's really difficult to actually do the interiors of your builds, and this is no different. I think I'm gonna struggle like crazy to actually put an interior in this thing, but because we've got 3 stories, we definitely do need to put an interior in. So, let's go ahead and figure out where the stairs can go, and then figure out what rooms are what, and, I don't know, just get straight to it, I guess. Alright, well, what do we have right now? Right now we have, obviously, the cockpit. If we go backwards from the cockpit, we have all of this level right here. If we go downstairs, we've got this level right here, which is pretty big, and then if we go downstairs again, we have this level, which isn't actually quite as large. But what I'm thinking we do is we put some, like, I don't know, beds and stuff down here, because it's sort of the furthest away from the engines, and then we'll have, like, a seating area above on this level, and then above that, we'll have, like, crew quarters and, I guess, some luggage. We'll shove the luggage in the center, maybe. I don't really know. Alright, I have an idea of something that might be kind of fun, and that would be to actually allow us to get into the wings. So we're going to delete these on both sides really quickly. There we go. Delete those. Go to hatch, I guess. And we're going to allow ourselves to get up into the wings to do some modifications, or fixing, I guess. Possibly even mid-flight. So delete that, grab ourselves a ladder, shove it straight onto here like this. And in fact, actually, let's just do this. There we go. Delete that guy, delete this guy, add some pipes, and there we go. We got ladders up into the wings of the aircraft. Alright, interesting. What that allows us to do is actually, whilst we're flying, get into the wings and fix the engines if we need to. That's crazy. Alright, so what I've done is I've actually ran the pipes through the wing instead of on the floor in the wings, because then we'll be able to get through. So hopefully we'll be able to crouch in this area and actually get down to that engine down there. What I'm going to do is box this piece off right here and just send this all the way backwards to there so we can get down to the engine. We're then going to go ahead and go across from here like this. There we go, and then we're going to be able to get down to the engine from there, just like so. Alright, box that little area off. Go ahead and delete this piece. That's all good. On the other side, we're going to box this bit off, and we're going to do this going back this way. Okay, right, slowly but surely we're getting there. I guess it needs to be its own little doorway, so we'll just do this. Alright, that's fine. Realistically, actually, maybe I should do it a different way. Yeah, I probably should. So we'll delete these guys down to here. We'll do this. Ooh, almost. Almost. This across from there to here. We'll go from there up to here. Excellent. And then we're going to go across even further. And obviously get down to this engine as well, because that's what we need to do. So we'll go from here back to there. Okay, we'll have this sent this way. Excellent. We'll go this way a little bit. We'll then go this way a little bit more. And we'll do this right here. Excellent. And then that's the last engine right there. So we can crouch all the way through and get to each of the engines down each of these little lines. That's cool. Yeah, I like it. Okay, I wanted to see what it was like actually crawling through here, so let's get up and crouch. We then have to jump over this bit. We might have to change that, but yeah, we can get down to the engines. We can fix most of the engine from here. If we go backwards from there, we can go into this one. We can fix most of the engine from here, and obviously on the other side. And then if we go this way, we can get down to this engine, and again, we can go all the way around and fix most of it from there. Alright, yeah, that works out fine then. I'm happy with that. I think it might be time to actually add some stairs to this thing. So let's go ahead and take off mirroring mode. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and build a staircase down from here into the next floor. How am I going to go about doing that? I don't know just yet. But let's go ahead and build this guy up to there really quickly. We're going to send this across here a little bit. Okay, that's fine. And then I guess I need like either a stair. Oh, I don't know how this is going to work. Delete all of this. There we go. Delete like all of this. And then we can just add stairs down to there. And then from there down to the floor. Alright, that looks pretty good so far. But what I'm thinking we do is actually extend... I don't know. Actually extend this guy this way like that. There we go. Delete this guy. Shove one of the top pieces into there like this. And then shove this guy from here over to the bottom if I can. So 1 and 2. Excellent. So if we go ahead and just box that in there, send this guy across from here to there, do this guy from here all the way across to there, and then I guess just box in the roof, we should be fine. Yes! Alright, do this guy, and I guess do this guy. Alright, we're then going to go to here. I'm just going to go ahead and box this guy off right there, and I think that's fine. Yeah. It feels a bit weird, not going to lie, but it's also okay. Maybe zoom this across there, and do something along the lines of this, and maybe this. Okay! Yeah, so now we can go in there if we need to, go all the way up to the top if we want, and that's fine. It feels a bit weird, but maybe that's okay. I don't know. Anyway, shove these guys onto there, shove these guys onto here, and just build it up. And there we go. So that one goes up to the roof, this one goes up to the roof, that one goes up to the roof, and we are all good. I think. I think. I don't know. We need to go inside and see if this actually works. The other thing is, I think this is the wrong color right here. Or is it white? I don't know. Alright, so yeah, that seems a little bit low, but you can actually walk in here. Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. We need it to be bigger. Here we go. So now when you go down the stairs, you go in a straight line, you end up at a door, you have to open the door, and then you go outside. That is going to be like a staff-only door, because I believe only staff are going to be allowed up on the top bit, up in here. So we'll have like a staff room at the front, we'll have some cargo storage back here somewhere, and I think that'll be pretty good. And now we need the next staircase. So we need to be able to get from this level right here down a floor. So I guess we'll go down into here. That is not the nicest looking thing in the world, but it's just there, so I guess we're keeping it. I'm going to go ahead and paint in all of the pieces that aren't quite the right color, because a lot of it is blue. So yeah, let's just go ahead and try and get rid of a bunch of the blue, and then we'll build a staircase. Okay, through the door we go. Excellent. Inside of that door, we get ourselves two doors. One of them says staff only, which allows us to go up the stairs, straight up into the staff only area, which is the top deck. If we go down from there and we go to the other one, it says lower level. We go through lower level door, we run down the stairs, we hit our heads off this, and we are down in the lower level of the boat. Right here it says middle deck, so you can actually go from here upwards, and that's fine. I'm going to say middle level. I'm going to call them levels, not decks, because this is a plane, not a boat. Okay, what I need to do though is angle this piece, angle that piece, and angle the next piece. Okay, here we go. Delete this piece, and this piece. Shove this guy onto here like this, and this guy onto here, and now we should be able to get down the stairs really easily with no problems whatsoever. At least I think so anyway. Yeah, we'll be able to get straight out of here into the lower level. What do we think of this? This is on the middle deck, as you guys can see, so you can go in here. Essentially, I wanted an area for them to be able to go through, get some food, and then go sit down somewhere. So I've added these two things right here, which are for, I guess, the cooks to leave some stuff at, some food. We're going to add a door for the cooks to get into this area. Right here, there we go. And we'll just go ahead and box that off to the ceiling, I guess. This is on both sides, because they're going to do it on both sides anyway. And then over here on this side, I'm just going to go out by one, box that off to there. Maybe we can get away with doing this, and I think that will be fine. We then need to add something that the chefs can actually cook from, I guess. One of the things is going to be a fridge sort of dealio, which is going to go right here. I'll do that in like a different colored white or gray, I guess. And that can go in, you know what, actually, that can go in right there. There we go. We're going to go ahead and cut it in half so that it looks like a proper fridge. And then we're going to add handles for the doors right here and here. Handle, please. Yes, there we go. We need it in the right color, which is this. Chuck that in there and there. Excellent. Yes. We're then going to go down to here. I'm going to chuck these guys up from there. And that is awesome. We then need to add some sort of like cooking thing, so we're going to go and add a tiny oven right here. There we go. And then I guess we kind of need a sink, but I don't know how I'm going to do that just yet. Maybe like a really tiny sink will work fine. Yeah. Yep. All right, chuck these guys into here. I'm actually going to chuck that guy on the edge, and I'm going to do this. Okay, we're then going to put a pipe underneath. That's going to go into the wall, that's fine. And then, actually, back here, we're just going to go ahead and paint this as if it's a sink. And that's all good, yeah. All right, oven. Let's go ahead and put some glass in there. Make sure it looks like an oven at least. All right, there we go. And fill in the inside with a darker color. Okay. I mean, it's doing it. We're doing it. Paint all of these bits like that. Paint all the roof and the bottom. And this bit right here. Okay. Right. Yes, it looks weird, but I think this is fine. What I'm also going to do is actually extend this guy backwards a little bit. Because the fridge needs to at least have some illusion of some depth. There we go. Okay, sick. So we got fridges on both sides, we got food on both sides, we got an oven in the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and just paint some red dots on the top. These are gonna be like a stove. That's fine. Yes, it's extremely minimal detail, but that's okay. Okay, so I want the guests to walk through like a bit of an arched door. So let's go ahead and just chuck this into here like this. We'll shove these guys onto both sides, actually, so around here. And we'll actually chuck this guy into there as well. Oh, would you look at that? Okay, no, that looks awful. It needs to be the other way around if we're going to do it that way. So these ones go inwards, like this. And then we chuck these guys down here like this. Okay, yeah, so we got like an arch going into the eatery area, and that's all good. The problem is, though, is that I need to get rid of this bit right here, and I need to introduce a wall. Yeah, because although this is the passenger area, we're gonna have to ask some crew to come through here sometimes to lower the anchor. Yes, it's got to be done from the front, so this will be staff only as well, and I think that'll be fine. So chuck a door in here, make it staff only, and that'll be good. All right, here we go. Bosh, staff only, excellent. Yes. So now we can go through the front into there, and this will be like an equipment room, sort of. Okay, we now need some like seats and tables, so I think that's the next thing. Okay, that can seat, what, like 6 people maybe? I know that's not an awful lot, but that's also fine. I do want to add some like walls in here that might look nice, so we're just going to go ahead and chuck a row or a line of this around the bottom, and this is just going to be the color of the lower bit of the wall. Does it make sense to do this? Possibly, maybe not. I don't know. All right, check that across the bottom. That's all fine. Everything else is okay over here. I haven't done an angle in that corner for some reason. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And then paint it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would say that area looks all right. There we go. Would you look at that? So we got all of this actually positioned in here. We've got ourselves another seating area right here. I don't know how many guests will be on this aircraft at the same time, but I would say that this seating area can hold, let's say, 8 per table. So 8, 16, 24, 32. Yeah, 32 people? That seems all right, maybe. Is that right? I don't know. Maybe it is. To be fair, not everyone has to eat at the same time, so that could be fine. Okay, the rest of it needs to be built in as well. So what I want to do is actually have little booths. We'll box off this area, so there'll be sort of like a storage bit in there. That's fine. On both sides, I think that's okay. If we want to store, like, things in here, that would be fine. So what I want to do is I want to grab this. We're going to go ahead and build benches into each of these rooms that are, I guess, this big. There we go. Check those guys out like that. That's fine. And we'll box them off a little bit like this. Okay, so we'll shove that guy into there. We're then going to go to the other side. And we're going to do this as well. This is kind of weird because I'm not sure it'll fit right. Yeah, they're way too close together if I do that. I wonder what the best way of doing it is. So I kind of wanted them to have a window in the center, but the thing is, I haven't spaced the windows out perfectly for that, and therefore that's kind of weird. So what if each room has 2 windows? So let's say we do this. Okay, and then let's say that each room is actually... they have seats across the bottom, seats across the side, and seats across this side as well. Yeah, I feel like that would make more sense anyway. So everybody can talk to each other, that's all fine. Chuck those guys into there, chuck them into here and here. And then we're going to paint up all the walls as well. They're all going to be the same color on this level at least. So they're all going to have this like cream underline thing. Alright, very good. I guess I actually need to build the back ends in. There we go. Gonna ignore the bits around the window, that's fine for now. And then I guess they'll probably want a table in here, so let's go ahead and chuck a table in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Across the top, we're just gonna go ahead and do this. There we go. Actually, you know what? It'd probably be nicer to attach these guys onto here. There we go. Do this bit in the middle, and then maybe these guys like this. Aha! And aha! Yeah, although are they too big? They might be a little bit too big. Maybe just tables like this. I think that's fine. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and paint the archway of this, just like this. Here we go. And here we go. Obviously, I am going to have to chuck in some extra pieces, so we're going to do this guy like that. We're going to do this guy like this, and we're going to do these. Okay, yeah, that works. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Alright, we're going to go ahead and keep doing the same thing as we go backwards, and there'll be a bunch of booths to sit in. Oh, I almost forgot about toilets. Where are these guys going to be able to do poo-poo pee-pee? Well, I think that we should actually have the toilets maybe in this bit. So you can poo-poo pee-pee on this side and poo-poo pee-pee on this side as well. If that makes sense. I think it does. So we're going to get rid of all these. I guess I should be deleting them on both sides. So let's do this side first. There we go. Bosh, 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 bosh. Delete all of that, all of this, all the way around. These guys. Excellent. And then I guess it needs to be turned into a toilet somehow. Okay. Let's go ahead and paint the walls like this. We'll actually go ahead and do this one as well, obviously. There we go. And then we're gonna have a wall in here. So do like, I guess just one. Yeah, one there. Okay, one here. We then need some doors, which are gonna be for the toilets, obviously. So we'll shove these doors in. I don't mind using these doors. I know it's not really what I should be using or whatever, but let's chuck that in there. We'll chuck this in this side, delete this guy, and just fill this piece in like that. There we go. Alright, these pieces then are going to go like this. We're going to go ahead and paint these extra bits. There we go, there we go. And this bit, and this bit, and this bit, and this bit. And then all we need to do is break them in half, just like so. Alright, so that's going to be the toilets. That's going to be the toilets as well. Excellent. Alright, so one of the next things I want to do is actually add some, like, poles about. And the main reason for adding poles is so that we can actually hold on to them when we are walking about the plane. Obviously, it is a plane, so it will be moving every so often. So let's just go ahead and put a pole. Every other one, I guess? Yeah, every other one. So delete those guys. 1, 2. We'll have one here, one here, one here. There we go. Keep it going backwards. Obviously, we won't have any in the theater right here. This is just a projector, and this is the projector screen so that people can come back here and watch whatever they want, I guess. We're going to go ahead and keep these going forwards because we can. So one there, one here, one here. That could get in the way, but it's fine. One there, and finally one here. Yes. We're then going to go to pipes, and I'm just going to go ahead and chuck them to the ceiling. Just like this. There we go. There's 1, 2. You know, there's going to be a lot of this, so I'll skip till the point where they're already done. Okay, so we got, like, the middle floor sort of done. I painted a floor in here because I thought that would be nice. I am going to paint some floors in other areas as well because I can't leave it just bare like this. So the floor will be painted randomly all over the place. And then downstairs, I actually want to have some cabins with some bunk beds in them. So we are actually going to have 2 windows per bunk. That's fine, there we go. We're then going to go to beds, and hopefully I'll fit these in. So, ooh, that gets pretty close to the center, but that's okay. Alright, there we go. So, a bunk there and a bunk there. I kind of wanted them to be like rooms, but it's not really going to work out. Also, I just don't think we got the height for bunks. We don't really have the height for bunks. But what if we did it... What if this went in the floor? But I feel like that's even worse. Yeah, okay. Bunk beds might have to be called off in this situation, unfortunately. They don't really fit. Would you look at that? We are going to need some lights in here very soon, but I think these poles fit in here actually quite nicely. Let's go downstairs. This is where people will be sleeping, so It's empty at the back, but as you go forwards, there is a bunch of beds where the windows are. You can sleep, obviously, in these beds, look out the window whilst you are flying, and also whilst you're on the water, I suppose. And you can store some of your stuff underneath your bed. You've then got loads of these. It feels like a little bit of a jail, but also, you know, it's a plane. You've only got so much space. Why not use it all? That was my phone. This right here is for the people that, I don't know, don't fit in a single bed and they need a triple one. So there's a kind of a nice room at the front for people that pay a little bit more. What I'm thinking is we actually add rooms back here for people that pay very little. And essentially we'll just add a bunch of beds, no windows, and they can sleep in those. Yeah. Oh, would you look at that? This back here is actually going to be a bit of a storage room. Essentially, the people on the plane can come down here. There'll be staff stood in these windows. They pass their things through the windows. The staff go put them on these shelves at the back. And then at the end of the journey, they can come back to these windows. The staff will pass them back, and they can climb them up the stairs and take them with them on their journey. So that's like the bottom 2 floors done then. I added some cheapo beds, so these are for the people that can't really afford very much, and they get their own little claustrophobic beds in there. I was thinking it might be kind of a nice idea to bunk bed that, but it's not really a possibility, so there you go. It would be nice to change all of the floors. I am going to have to add a bunch of lights, so I think I might add the lights now. Let me go and add a bunch of lights, and we'll see what it'll look like after that. And pow, pow, pow! There we go, we got lights on this level. It is very bright. If we go downstairs, we open this door up really quickly. We got lights on this level. Again, very, very bright. And if we go downstairs, we have a million lights down here. So this one is extremely bright. Look at that. If we go through here, I did add some lights in there, and if we go backwards, I also added some lights in here. So, yeah, there's lights all around the aircraft now. That is beautiful. We've added decor to most of it as well, which again is beautiful. The thing is, we are still listing, so this thing needs more. We're also in need of a, whatchamacallit? An actual cockpit that works, because at the minute there is no proper cockpit. But this thing flies. It actually totally works. So I am extremely happy. I think what I'm going to do today is actually end this video here for now. In the next one, I'm going to do a little bit more work and try to make this a little bit nicer. And then I guess it'll be ready for the workshop. But yeah, we've done a bit of interior. I don't know what I'm doing right now. It does fly, I promise. Let's go ahead and turn these off. There we go. So yeah, we've done a bit of interior, which is nice. We got ladders now to get into the wings. We're going to need to add welders and stuff like that up there. But other than that, I think we're good. I think we are good. Beautiful. I need to add something in here as well. We're going to add an anchor through there. Although we're going to have to also add a hatch, so getting through there is going to be interesting. And yeah, I'm happy with it. So, for now, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.